Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today. So whether it's morning, noon, or evening for you, we're glad to have you with us. My name is Nicole, and I am the head of client strategy and solutions here at eCore. I'm very excited today to guide you through this conversation on a topic that's so top of mind for many leaders right now, and that is how to make AI work for your support team. We have a fantastic session lined up, and I will be your host for this event, but I'm thrilled to introduce our two panelists here. So with us today, we have Adriele. She is our IT support leader here at eCore. She has a deep expertise in building and scaling customer support teams. And we have Bernardo, our service delivery manager, who specializes in AI, data, and cloud. So before we dive in, I have a few quick notes. So first, you're going to see a couple of polls pop up during the session. So please take a moment to answer those. I think it helps make the session more fun and interactive, and it allows us to get some feedback from our audience here today. Last, we'll be wrapping this up with a live Q&A, so another opportunity for feedback and questions. So please feel free to submit your questions anytime during this presentation, whenever the question pops into your mind. The Q&A feature is at the bottom of your Zoom window, so check that out. It should be in the toolbar. It might be hidden in those extra settings there, but we will do our best to address any questions that come up, as many questions as we can answer during Q&A at the end. So to start us off today, though, I would like to tell you a little bit about eCore for those of you who may not know too much about us. eCore is the company bringing you this webinar today. So I promise I'll keep this part short. At eCore, we offer a balanced portfolio of digital consulting services. So as you can see from the map, our US-based team combines local knowledge with global expertise to deliver close and personalized support. We are also proud to share some of the key figures that reflect our journey as a company, but really what we're most proud of is our customers. So a few of those are highlighted there at the bottom. We have their success stories available for you to read and explore on our website if you're feeling curious. So our solutions are really designed to help companies unlock productivity, tailor digital solutions to business models, and to consistently enable quality work. So when it comes to product support, we offer a full service approach intended to help teams scale with confidence. So in some cases, that means improving tools and workflows and using AI to boost efficiency or expanding customer support teams. So that is the kind of insight that we'll be sharing today. And on that note, I will pass this along to Adriele.
Thank you, Nicole. Thank you all for being here today. I'm Adriele, and as Nicole mentioned before, I'm an IT support leader here at eCore. During my career in customer support, I've had the chance to work with companies of all sizes, from large organizations with big structured support teams to startups operating in founders mode yet, which is how we called when the founder is involved in most of the processes and has a close contact with all customer interactions. And what I have learned from all those experience is that regardless of the company size, the support changes can be similar. You may notice an increase in the volume of tickets. For a startup, it could mean that your customer base is growing, which is exciting. And for a big company, the rising volume could be related to a new feature. And in addition to that, as your software evolves, the complexity of the customer requests will generate more technical escalations, and they tend to take longer to resolve. Also, customer expectations are sky high. They want quick, helpful answers to their requests, And with the volume and complexity increasing, it may get to a point where it's difficult to keep up with the updates. And at this point, we may see bad reviews in terms of customer satisfaction, and we may have an impact in losing customers. And talking about startups, that's the moment when you may lose some of the early adopters of your software, which is something we want to avoid. On top of all that, if you have too many different tools to handle customer support, it will lead to inefficiency and silos, taking you even more time to handle everything. Given all these challenges, it's not a surprise that AI seems like a solution for it all. So many teams rush to implement it to reducing costs, handling the growth volume of tickets, and keeping up with competitors. And I want to bring to your attention this research here from Gartner that it shows the main reasons why leaders are thinking about implementing AI. And what caught my attention here is that the top reasons focus on customer satisfaction and in customer loyalty. So what I get from that is it doesn't work to implement AI if it's going to harm customer experience, if it's going to be bad for customers. So just reducing volume of tickets, it's not enough. And that's why what we are going to talk about today is why we should think about structuring our support first, then think about AI later. AI will only magnify what you already have in place. If there is chaos, it will magnify it. If you implement AI before structuring support, it's like this picture right here. It's like building a house on a poor foundation like sand. So the results you'll see in this case are likely to be mishandled tickets, frustrated customers with automatic answers, who never had a bad experience with a chatbot before, right? They are sometimes really annoying. So it's something we should avoid by structuring our support first. And when we don't do that, we also lose confidence from both sides, from our customers that lose trust on our support and our team that look at AI as something like a burden, not something that can help. And this gets to what we are going to see here today. And I'll pass over to Bernardo now, who will talk about what AI can do for support teams. Bernardo, you can go
Thanks,
ahead.
Adriele. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm really happy to be here with you today and share some cases that AI can help support teams to be more efficient, more effective. And to start here, the AI chatbots were really the opening act. If you remember a few years ago, AI chatbots was offering rigid, repetitive answers and was really boring everyone, including you and me. But with the arrival of generative AI, this is wave of innovation starting to happen. And with generative AI, these complex tasks becomes more natural for everyone. So nowadays, the customers are changing from the spotlight of this, are changing from customer-facing chatbots to these agent-facing chatbots. And agent-facing, it's much more complex. Agent-facing can resolve different complex tasks and even multitasks. And agent facing will use your own data, your own organization data, your own process to deliver more results for your supports and for to your customers. And for example, there is a lot of different challenges that this could help you, like slow ticket resolution times or poor issue prioritization and so on. And this Gartner research here is showing how customers are adopting agent-facing generative AI to try to resolve all these kind of challenges. And the next few slides, I will be showing you these challenges and how AI can help you to handle this. So, for example, in our first challenger, you can see here a staircase of 6 steps in how to handle initial inquiries And initial inquiries are very boring to do. No one likes to do these initial inquiries. And how can you use support? How can you use your AI in this flow, in this your support flow? First, you need to integrate AI. So the first step, AI can reduce your response times up to 70%. And AI using your organization own data, using your own process. So that's the main thing. That's the most important thing. You ensure consistency. AI is more consistent than everyone. So your human agents can focus on more complex issues, more meaningful issues for the business. So this will improve the customer satisfaction at all, and with that, you can scale your operation. So that's the path to introduce AI in these initial inquiries. So a next challenge you can handle is the prioritization of the tickets. Imagine a world with all unprioritized tickets. It's very difficult. It's slow your operation. It's very difficult to handle. So when you put AI here, AI can dynamically assign urgency of your tickets. AI will learn from your tickets, learn from your experience, from your organization on data. And with that, AI can reclassify all your tickets from the beginning. So even the tickets, all tickets, you can see if AI is doing the right job based on your data. So now with AI classifying your tickets better, you have all the tickets classified, prioritized by AI much faster, and you save everyone's time, your team's time. And another challenge you can resolve with AI, it's how to route the tickets, how to route the tickets. So it's work like a funnel. Deliver the right ticket to the right team is very important to have a good operation excellence in your operation. So AI will analyze your ticket's details and the context. And if AI can resolve the tickets with your organization on data, with your process, with your runbooks and playbooks, AI will resolve by itself. So it's done, okay. But if not, AI can scale for the right team based on the reasoning. And you scale and you route for the right team and you save a lot of time with this process. So AI is helping you to classify, is helping you to route to the right one and even resolve by itself. And one next challenge we could resolve is how difficult is to balance the efficiency, your operational excellence, and this human touch here. So sentiment analysis is very important to your customer to deliver the right response to your customers. So using AI here, AI can analyze the sentiments of the tickets and deliver most empathetic responses here. And with this empathetic response that AI can emulate very well, if AI detects a most complex, a more complex issue or something that needs a human touch, AI can scale. So the human will receive these tickets to resolve. So you have the better of both worlds. You have operation excellence from AI and the human touch when it's needed. And another challenge is to have your content up to date. These outdated service contents will be very dangerous for all your supports and all your playbooks and documentations. So we can create with AI a, a virtual a virtual well here to help you. So first, AI identify patterns, and with that, they can classify the tickets. The second step is use AI to generate root cause analysis. And with this root cause analysis, AI will update your content, your knowledge base automatically. And with that, it will prevent future issues because all your documentation are up to date. So that's this cycle here. And another challenge that it's facing is balancing cost reduction and quality customer service. And here it's good to think about two different kinds of metrics. First one is the quantitative ones, and the other is qualitative ones. You can use AI to reduce cost of your support, for example, this 25%, or to increase upsell opportunities in 15%. Okay, it's quantitative metrics. But there is also the qualitative metrics like your customer satisfaction or your team morale. So it's good to analyze the entire business using both metrics. And imagine your team doing repetitive tasks, boring tasks, and your team morale is will be you decrease. So AI can help your team morale doing these repetitive tasks, and your team can do just the most important task for the business, just the meaningful for the business. So that's how AI can embrace the entire business. How can AI can help you on your business performance? So we have one example here of one of our clients that has to analyze hours and hours of sales calls. It's just impossible for a human to analyze hours and hours of calls, sales calls, imagine. It's almost impossible. So what we did for them with AI, we create a system that AI use the organization process, their scripts, their sales scripts, to analyze the calls. And with that, they can use the information generated by the AI to improve the scripts, to be more to oh, what colors or what sellers perform better, let's see what these colors are doing. So with that, these systems increase the duration of the calls by 50%. It shows me how engaged, how deeper engaged the customers are before this solution. And the effectiveness of the calls increased by 20%. And with these AI systems working, it can the AI can deliver instant feedback for the sellers. And this is an example and how AI can, together with your business, increase some metrics and deliver real value. So here, back to Adriele. And Adriele, you show us how to build an AI ready support model. So thank you.
Thank you, Bernardo. Thank you for sharing your insights. So let's talk about how to build a good foundation for our support teams to work with AI. We can summarize what AI needs in three main items: data quality, well-defined process, and integrated tools. We'll go through each one of them in the next slides. The very first step is to understand where you are, so you know where to go. You'll do that by gathering all the history, all the data that you already have, even customer interactions in emails, chats, or if you already have a ticketing system, you can use that as a good source of initial data. This first analysis, this assessment will let you understand recurring cases, knowledge base gaps, recurring cases that you need to document that could be answered quickly, and automation opportunities in your process. So this part is very important, not just for AI as a first step of, as a first learning point for AI, but it's also important for you to assess how is your support maturity. The second point, talking still about data, is your knowledge base. Your FAQs, articles, it's going to be the primary data source for AI-powered tools. It's from where AI is going to build answers to your users or suggest solutions to your agents. So having a solid knowledge base is a very good foundation to move forward and implement AI. And one common pitfall that we see when talking about knowledge base is to have a lot of documentation everywhere, but it's not very well structured. So it's easy to search for things, or the content is outdated as releases come out. And for those two things, I advise you to plan for regular reviews. This is very important. And to define ownership. Usually documentation is something that if it doesn't have an ownership set, no one wants to work on. So it's important to set this as a first step. And you can see here that the challenge with documentation is something that many leaders go through. We can see that 61% of leaders have a backlog of articles to edit. 30% of leaders have no formal process for revising outdated content. And 39% of leaders have no formal process for addressing knowledge gaps. So it's something we all go through. And a few other tips to optimize your knowledge base. I usually see it working very well in my experience, having an external knowledge base with public information for your customers, for your users, and having an internal base with troubleshooting steps to both train your analysts and help them have consistent answers and consistent troubleshooting steps, but also for AI. So AI can consult those both bases and provide suggestions to the agents or provide the first response to the users. But also in my experience, I learned that the tickets could also be a good knowledge base. So when we are talking about having a knowledge base, is not only documentation, we can have good parameterization in our tickets to provide that too. When I was a third level support analyst and I handled complex escalations, I used to put as an internal comment in all tickets my troubleshooting steps, all my line of thought to be a reference, either for the developer who was going to work on the case after all, or for the person who was going to update the customer. So all of them had the context and the work was very efficient that way. And also, as we saw before, AI can also learn from what we document on the tickets. So it's a source of continuous improvement for your process with AI. And going to the second pillar, we need to define very well our processes. AI will rely on workflows for routing tickets, prioritization, and wherever we define as a categorization for AI to triage tickets more efficiently. So we need to define all of that before implementing AI so we can see if AI is doing a good job or not, if it's following the parameters that we defined. So before jumping into AI, I would advise having a clear view of all the journey of the ticket, the channels from where the customer will get in touch, all the workflow, all the life cycle it will have inside the ticketing system, the SLAs and ticket classification, for instance, priority and resolution are good points to start classifying tickets. Now, another important thing to define, we saw that AI can automatically escalate tickets based on a sentiment analysis or complexity of the ticket. But for AI to do that, we need to define very well what are the tiers of support based on based on the tickets that come up to your software. So with well-defined tiers, AI can confidently triage and escalate. Otherwise, it will be looping around and not making very good decisions from regarding to where the ticket should go. And one common pitfall to have here when defining tiers of support is not considering continuous improvement. When you look at your ticket base and define what's a tier 1, a tier 2, and a tier 3, it's not something that's going to be that way forever. You should keep improving it. So if a ticket is originally a tier 2 and you create a documentation for it, it will become a tier 1. It could be answered automatically based on the documentation. If you train your tier 2 team for something that once was answered by tier 3, that ticket can become a tier 2. So this is something that is alive. You should be reviewing and you should be improving it as you improve your documentation. And the third pillar is integrated tools. And the ticketing system is, I believe, the most important tool you will see in this process, because it's where all the workflows, all the categorization, decentralization of all data is going to happen. So it's mostly from where AI is going to take the workflows and see how the process actually works. When we talk about and we focus on integrated tools, a few things to keep in mind is that your ticketing system should integrate all the multiple channels from where your customers will get in touch with your team. So if you have chat, email, a portal, it's important to have them well defined and all coming up to your ticketing system. So they all go through the workflow. We can keep track of the SLAs. We can have analytics and reports after all, and categorize all those tickets and all those interactions. And last but not least, let's talk a little bit about KPI monitoring. It's not something essential for you to implement AI as the previous items that I mentioned before, but it's something that will give you some clarity if AI is doing a good job and where it could be improved at some point. So besides all the KPIs we usually monitor for support, like CSAT, first time response, time to resolution, we can track KPIs specifically related to AI to monitor its performance. So resolution accuracy, escalation rate, CSAT for AI answer tickets, those tickets that AI is going to search through the knowledge base and answer themselves. We can monitor how are those answers being received by the customers, and we can improve them based on this feedback, which gets us to one common pitfall when talking about KPIs is just looking at the metrics and not seeing the context around that. When we are dealing with customer support, we can observe that sometimes we are going to have 3 stars set out of 5-star rate, and the customer is going to say, wow, the support was awesome, it was very helpful, but they just didn't feel like giving the full 5 stars. And sometimes we are going to see a 5-star CSAT with a bad comment. So if you look just into the numbers, you may not see the whole picture, you may not see the whole thing that's going on. So my tip here, my advice is to gather qualitative feedbacks and pair it with the numbers. Both of them are important. And when handling customer support, it's important to have a good look of both. Now, summarizing where AI and human support can deliver the best results. One of leaders that I have reinforced with me and taught me very well how important it is to put the right player in the right position. And that's what we should do with AI. It's better handling volume, repetitive questions, providing instant answers, doing the work that humans already don't add so much value. They are repetitive, they don't need much thought added to it. And let humans drive quality, handling complex issues, make judgment case calls for edge cases and exceptions, and making sure we have empathy and personalization, and most of all, train and fine-tune AI as if it was a peer in support, a colleague. So AI and humans are better together, and that leads to our conclusion. AI is augmenting support, not replacing humans. You cannot just have one and not the other. AI can be very efficient for a bunch of challenges that we saw, but human support is also very important. And that's what we had for today. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you so much to our incredible panelists for sharing your experience and your expertise today. So we're going to move into the Q&A, but before we actually do that, I'd like to announce that eCore is offering a free operational maturity assessment session with one of our experts. So this is a great opportunity to understand just where your organization stands today. You will receive practical and tailored recommendations from our team based on your results. So if you're interested in this, you can scan the QR code and let us know that you're interested. You can also reach out to any of our panelists, and we'll be following up with the materials after the webinar today. So lots of opportunities to jump on this. Okay, I think now we can go into the Q&A portion of this session. So we're gonna do our best to answer as many questions as we can live. Any that we can't answer, we will follow up after with an email. If your question is if this was recorded, yes, it's recorded, and we'll also be sending that out to the attendees afterwards as well. Using that Q&A button, if you have any questions that you have not submitted yet, please submit them, and we're just going to get started. So, for our first question, how do we train our team to work with AI? Adriele, would you like to start us off?
Yes, sure. My advice on that is to create workshops to show exactly what part of the work AI is doing and be very open to feedback about improvements that your team see in how AI is handling tickets and everything else, because the human input will be also very important at this point. So be very transparent on what are your expectations with AI and train your team on what it's doing.
Thanks. Thank you. Next question is switching ticketing systems just for AI worth it?
That's a very good question. I would say that just for AI, you shouldn't change, but if you are at a point that your ticketing system is preventing you from expanding, from escalating your support team, or not providing good categorization or good workflows and integration with the tools, you should consider it.
We actually have another one related to ticketing systems, but more about the data. So is the data collection limited to the ticketing system, or can we include other sources as well?
You can use all type of data to improve the knowledge of your AI. So the tickets, it's a very good data source for that, but also your process, your run books, playbooks, all of that could be used to improve AI capacities.
Right. All right, next question. Removing the CSAT, don't know if I said that right. You guys can correct me.
It's good.
Yeah, okay. What kind of measures or KPIs can we have to be sure our agents are doing a good job and not burning out or boring our customer?
I would say that making sure a good percentage of the tier one, if not 100% of the tier one tickets are answered by AI, it's a good way to see if our team is doing what they should be doing, and AI is doing what is its best, where its skill it's best. And time to first response is something that we could monitor as well to make sure that it's having a good impact on the results overall, because for tier one tickets, the time to first response for AI should be quicker than the time for humans.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. We have one other question. Also, feel free if this conversation has sparked any additional questions, feel free to submit some more. We have, how often should we review and update our knowledge base?
I would say that for sure, every time you have a new release, you should review everything that's related to the features or bug corrections that you are delivering in that release. And quarterly for all the other documentations, I would say that it's something that you could follow. It's a good practice.
Awesome. Okay, thank you. That's all the questions that we have for today. So thank you guys so much for joining. We have our LinkedIn QR codes here, so you can feel free to reach out to any of us after if any more questions come up. Thank you so much for watching and staying with us. If you want to keep exploring this topic and other topics related to this, make sure you follow eCore on LinkedIn. You can subscribe to our newsletter as well and get fresh insights and be the first to hear about upcoming webinars that we do. So thank you so much. We hope to see you again soon, and we hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks for joining us today.